Bureaucracy. Many older neoconservatives have a fundamental disagreement with Donald Trump regarding peace and war. I believe Donald Trump is the candidate for peace, and I think his record supports that. But the reason these individuals criticize him so vigorously isn't about his personality. Jake, I think it's because they don't like that Donald Trump refused to go along with their desires to start wars. J.D. Vance used to be the voice of anti-establishment sentiment, the man in a baseball cap, speaking with a rural drawl, declaring, "I will never kneel before the elites." Then he quickly knelt, not just metaphorically, but literally, streaming it live on Fox News. Vance was once the embodiment of conservative rebellion. Now he echoes Trump's slogans like a schoolchild memorizing a sermon. Vance's transformation doesn't seem like personal growth. It seems more like a personality liquidation, streamed live during prime time. When Vance claimed Trump was the candidate for peace, I thought he was trying to make himself part of an alternate reality. Maybe he is, because in that world, yelling equals truth, and truth equals treason. He says he agrees with Trump on most policy matters, but disagrees with Trump's views on his role, fascism, and authoritarianism. I don't buy that, Jake. If you look at figures like John Kelly and Liz Cheney, their fundamental disagreement with Trump is that even though they claim to be conservative, they want America involved in unnecessary military conflicts. If J.D. Vance has a communication strategy, it's this: slam the table hard and speak aggressively like a street vendor. In debates, rather than offering counter-arguments, he just yells. Instead of making his case logically, he screams. And instead of behaving like a politician, he acts like someone who just had the last serving of food at a buffet stolen from him. The image of a grown man who once wrote books standing on stage shouting, "It's not my fault," is all we need to understand why US politics today feels like a chaotic fireworks show with no safety regulations. This is the moment J.D. Vance goes from politician to contestant on a loud talent show, yelling so loudly that the microphone seems ready to quit. And when he talks about using the military, he shouts that he agrees with Trump, as if it were a magic phrase that could help him overcome every challenge. But he forgets that the audience now has access to Google and noise-cancelling headphones. Vance claimed the US military should be used to handle rioters. Notice that it's not about maintaining order, but using the military as if every protest were an invasion like Normandy. And that moment is unforgettable. If you're looking for a moderate politician, you've tuned into the wrong channel. Here, we only air those who think guns are the solution to collective problems. He said the US military should go after Americans, but Trump never said Americans writ large. You're putting words in his mouth. Are far-left people who commit violent acts and riot not Americans? JD, you're narrowing down the definition of what he said, which isn't accurate. But let me ask you a bigger question. Are you misrepresenting what Trump said? He wanted to use the military to respond to far-left extremists, but that's not the same as using the military against all Americans. In the climactic moment, J.D. Vance attempts to rewrite history in real time by claiming Trump never intended to use the military against Americans, but rather against radical left anarchists. It's a clever twist, like saying, "I didn't say I'd run someone over, I just said I'd drive close to them." When you start interpreting what someone meant, you've officially become their emotional translator, even though that person doesn't need anyone to do that for him. Then there's the conversation about programs that might be affected. J.D. Vance asked about hypotheticals based on programs that weren't even clearly identified. I can tell you that programs like Medicaid, Social Security, Medicare, welfare benefits, and food stamps won't be impacted by changes. Karoline Leavitt, for example, is someone in a tough spot. Imagine having to defend things you know are indefensible. She likely spent many sleepless nights thinking about Trump's statements, wondering, how do I turn this mess into a narrative people can believe? Her job is far from the usual challenges faced by press secretaries. Every time Trump speaks, she works hard to cover up the inconsistencies with a fresh layer of explanation. Some things just can't be fixed. It's like trying to repair a car that's been patched together with glue. You might make temporary fixes, but no one is going to believe it's running smoothly. We are not going to sit back and accept this. Our leaders on the left will stand up for what's right. And we cannot let Elon Musk and a small group of people secretly behind closed doors take away our privacy, our money, or everything we have. We are going to fight this battle. I will stand with you in this fight, and together we will win. The way Trump reacts to Kimmel's jokes is like a child throwing a tantrum after being caught doing something wrong by their parents. You would expect a president to set an example and accept criticism, but Trump chooses to shout on Twitter as if it's the only way to save face. His tweets don't just reflect anger, they show that he's unable to control his emotions. It's like trying to calm a storm in a glass of water. These tweets only make everything more chaotic and out of control. Trump might be the most powerful person in the world, but it's clear he is still vulnerable to satire. President Zambone Head posted about our neighbors up north. They will pay a financial price for this, one so big that it will be written about in history books for years to come. The only sensible solution would be for Canada to become our 51st state. This would eliminate all tariffs and other barriers. We would have the safest and most beautiful nation in the world, and your brilliant anthem, O Canada, would continue to play, now representing a great and powerful state within the greatest nation the world has ever seen. Trump is moving toward Canada in a way no one is stopping, and it's like a bizarre story straight out of fiction. With Trump, every issue can be solved simply by annexation. The idea of annexing Canada might make some laugh because it's so impractical, but it also highlights one of the odd aspects of Trump's leadership style, always looking for a simple solution to complex issues. Rather than negotiating for cooperation, Trump seems to think annexation would resolve the trade issue without much effort. But can you really imagine annexing an entire country because of a trade dispute? It's a simplistic and unrealistic approach to solving international issues. However, it must be said that Trump knows how to create headlines and stir up laughter, and the idea of Canada as the 51st state certainly did that, despite how strange it is. To the woman in purple, I noticed your reaction to my previous answer. What's going on? Karoline Leavitt is like a skilled actor in an endless comedy, always on stage trying to turn the illogical into something that makes sense. But honestly, has she ever asked herself what she's defending every time Trump makes a new statement? Karoline has to come up with justifications for his words. And the more she tries, the more the absurdity of his comments becomes apparent. She's like someone trying to put out a fire in a room full of gasoline. No matter how hard she tries, the flames just keep burning brighter. This is the perfect setup for a comedy. When you can't explain something, the only thing left to do is laugh and hope everyone else does the same. For the audience, anyone else get a group chat invite from the National Security Advisor today? Just me? I know we shouldn't enjoy the fact that we have a group of unpredictable leaders running this country. But I'll be honest, I can't help it. I'm enjoying it right now. This week, in the race between Jimmy Kimmel, a master of sharp jokes, and the Trump administration, Kimmel stands out as the perfect target for his roasts. Kimmel is one of the few who can poke fun at those in power without facing major backlash. What makes Kimmel so unique is how he exposes the weaknesses of the Trump administration, especially when Karoline tries to defend the indefensible. Kimmel's ability to turn Karoline into the unwitting victim of this political story is a comedic masterstroke. It's not just satire. It perfectly reflects the awkward position Karoline finds herself in every day. Becoming the target of Kimmel's jokes might just be one of the toughest jobs in America.